Development and Validation of Self-Paced Learning Module in Mathematics 9 by yours truly, Shierman, Maed, major in Mathematics. Introduction. In the field of education, mathematics is one of the most important subjects. Mathematics is a vital part of human thought and logic and fundamentals at understanding the world. Mathematics also provides an effective way of creating mental discipline and boosts logical reasoning and mental accuracy. Likewise, mathematical knowledge helps understand the content of other school subjects, such as science and social studies. Mathematics is the support of all information, showing its importance to all disciplines. Despite the importance of mathematics, students' performance in the subject has remained poor, according to Adonis. As educational leaders, it is significant to explore how to use instructional design in a traditional learning environment to enhance teaching. One of the significant educational innovation in instructional design is planned instruction in module form. This approach consists of self-directed learning activity packets that are self-paced, student-directed, and let the students be responsible for their learning. Challenges of teaching mathematics. According to Stilescu, mathematics teachers face many challenges in implementing educational reforms. New mathematics teachers also have difficulties in transforming their teaching towards student-centered approaches. In the report of Cordero, the Philippine education system performed poorly among East Asia and the Pacific. The World Bank stated, using the country's test score from 2003. Unite highlighted the dilemma of public school teachers are facing today. The reality that many public schools are lacking instructional and supplementary materials, which hinders the demand for quality instruction. The teachers' lack of knowledge on material development and also unavailability of instructional materials become rampant and lingering problem in our educational institution, according to Cubillas. The quality of students' performance remains top priority for educators, trainers, and researchers who for some considerable times have been exploring essential variables for the quality performance of the learners. The importance of module in teaching. According to Mile and Cooper, a self-paced learning module is an orderly set of instruction designed to facilitate the learner's mastery of a body of knowledge or a procedure. When combined with other modules, learners can master a complicated process. Self-paced learning modules are useful for more than one purpose. For example, they can facilitate learning for individualized or self-paced instruction. They can also supplement traditional teaching to provide more training. According to Nardo, modular instruction is an alternative instructional design that uses developed instructional materials to meet educational needs. To prepare students in tertiary education, they need to apply independent education as early as in their secondary education using a module. The modules serve as a learning tool independently. Therefore, students can learn at their speed. Based on the researchers' experience and observation of the various problems faced by the learners in learning mathematics, one of them was lack of learners' understanding of the material. Learners were still not capable of mastering full of the material. The self-paced learning module in mathematics will support as a preparation for independent learning. Since it is one of the toughest subjects, this study intends to develop a self-paced learning module in print form. The researcher intends to help the students to understand the topic more. It may also address the call of education today, the new normal, about distance education. Research problems. First, how may the self-paced learning module in Mathematics 9 be developed? Second, how may the self-paced learning module in Mathematics 9 be validated? Results and discussion. Here's the Table 1. Table 1 shows the phases involved in the module development. Based on the table, the first phase in the module development was the preparation phase. Preparation phase involved the identification of subject matter experts and validators and securing consents from heads, subject matter experts, and validators through communication letters informing them about their participation in the study. It also included securing of permission to use instrument for content validity and rating sheet for DE and ODEL module of the College of Education of PSAU and the gathering of print and non-print resources and reference online and offline. In the planning phase, the researcher listed down the learning competencies of Mathematics 9 based on the K-12 mathematics curriculum guide. Then the researcher asked the 10 mathematics experts to evaluate the learning competencies in order to determine the topics to be included in the module based on content validity ratio and Losch's formula on essential and non-essential topics. This was done to determine the topics to be modularized. In the development phase, the module was structured by organizing each learning competency based on the nature of the topic after the researcher identified the essential learning competencies. Then researcher prepared the content, activities, and assessment of each topic. Then each topic was divided into 9 learning cycles, namely, what I need to know, what I know, what's in, what's new, what's more, what I have learned, what I can do, and lastly, the assessment. The last phase was the validation phase. In this, the researcher compiled the modules in Google Drive and then gave the link of self-paced learning module to the 5 experts for its access. Also, copies of the evaluation rating sheet for DE and ODEL modules, which consists of content, design and format, and pedagogy aspects of the self-paced learning module in Mathematics 9, respectively, were sent to them. Description of the results in the initial validation of the self-paced learning module were recorded by tallying the nominal data and their frequencies as a statistical treatment. The comments, suggestion, and recommendation were incorporated in the module. This implies that the module was developed through a logical sequence phase, the preparation, planning, development, and validation phase. This is in consonance with the study of Torrefranca, in which the developed module underwent the planning, development, and validation phases, which supplemented the study of Lismayati and Harta, which said that mathematics learning using learning module that underwent the different phases was better than without module. Data presented in Table 2.1.1 shows the essential and non-essential topics in Mathematics 9 for the first quarter. So for the next table, it will show the learning competencies from first to fourth quarter. So based on the table, 14 out of 16 learning competencies, or 14, were considered as essential. The results were conformed based on the evaluation of the subject matter expert and from the results of the content validity ratio, which requires a minimum value of 0.62 for the topics to be considered as essential. Data presented in Table 2.1.2 show the essential and not essential topics in Mathematics 9 for the second quarter. So based on the table, all 12 learning competencies were considered as essential. This implies that all the topics in second quarter are necessary that would supplement the insights and implications of the study of Torrefranca, that rational expressions and variations help students attain mastery in learning, not only in those topics, but other topics in mathematics as well. Data presented in 2.1.3 shows the essential and not essential topics in Mathematics 9 for the third quarter. Same with the second quarter, all the learning competencies were considered essential. The result is supported with a study of Argaswari, who developed a learning module for topics in quadrilaterals, which found to be valid and effective. And table presented in table 2.1.4 shows the essential and not essential topics in Mathematics 9 for the fourth quarter. Based on the table, all 6 learning competencies were considered as essential. Considering all the topics essential, we'll realize the study of Paspasan, wherein he generalized the self-paced modular approach made the students' learning style more independent because they prefer to work at their own pace. So the module helps to improve the level of performance in relation to plain trigonometry regardless of their mathematical abilities compared to structured approach. Next table, based on the results, it is revealed that on the initial validation, the 5 validators agreed that the self-paced learning module met all the criteria in factor of content. As presented in Table 2.2.1, the validator's overall descriptive rating on the developed module is yes, signifying an excellent evaluation of its acceptability as to content. It was suggested, however, that the developed module should provide more differentiated activities, provide immediate needs, and encourage creative and critical thinking among students, and this was considered and incorporated in the developed module even if the validator with those comments already approved the content of the module. Data presented in Table 2.2.2 presents the validation of the self-paced learning module as to design and format. Based on the result during the initial validation, the 5 validators agreed that self-paced learning module met all the criteria. The validator's overall descriptive rating on the developed module is yes, signifying an excellent evaluation of its acceptability as to design and format. A module structure is specifically important in online learning environment as it provides an aid in the presentation and application of the online teaching and learning process. When students are aware of the structure of the course, they spend less time guessing about what is expected of them and more time focusing on the content and activities. Last, the data presented in Table 2.2.3 presents the validation of the self-paced learning module as to pedagogical. Based on the result during the initial validation, the 5 validators agreed that the self-paced learning module met all the criteria. The validator's overall descriptive rating on the developed module is yes, signifying an excellent evaluation on its acceptability as to pedagogical. Conclusion. The self-paced learning module in Mathematics 9 was developed through preparation, planning, development, and validation phases, which met the study of Angraini. That research and development method is a method used to produce a defined product and further states that its 2 main objectives are to develop a product and to test its effectiveness. Second, the developed module underwent 2 validation. First, the content validation to determine the essential and non-essential learning competencies which were evaluated by the 10 subject matter experts and segregated by using the Loshes table of minimum values of the content validity ratio. And second was the developed module validation by the 5 experts and evaluated the module in terms of content, format and design, and pedagogical aspect, which achieved the approval of all experts that can classify the module as appropriate learning material in teaching mathematics. Recommendation: the developed learning module can be considered as a supplement to the mathematics curriculum. Second, other researchers can repeat the research by preparing learning modules for other subjects. And last, conduct another study to further verify the results of the research, such as use of experimental methods to test their effectiveness and use Likert scale to explain responses. That's all. Thank you.